Our focus today is bullying and what we should do and suggest to our kids or our grandkids if they are victims. It's time for everyone to speak up against bullying. That's why Albert Harris created a series of public service announcements that he hopes are going to educate the public. We're going to actually show you those in just a moment. But first I want to return to our conversation right before the break when we talked a little bit about the warning signs. Dr. White was sharing with us some signs. If we see our child is hesitant to go to school, if we see that his or her behavior is starting to change, if he's having nightmares, if there's unexplained bruises, that kind of thing, we see that, now what do we do?
Now we need to first talk to our child, even if our child isn't coming forth. And that's what Nadin's parents did, because Nadin initially was reluctant to tell them, but they knew something was wrong, and so they eventually got it out of him.
How long did the bullying go on before the whole world saw it on tape?
Since the start of that school year in September.
Really? So that's like 5 or 6 months. How did you endure it? What did you do? Was every day just a nightmare for you?
Yeah, basically, I used to try to run away, take the opposite way that they did, try to find like a group of kids I was friendly with and take a different way, or if they took the trolley, I wouldn't take the trolley. I would just walk home. I just try to like stay away from them most of the time.
So if you had it to do over again, would you have spoken up much earlier to try to eliminate those 5 months of torture?
Yes, I would have, but I can't take those months back. But if I was to like run back to the past and give myself a few words of what to do, I would tell myself, speak up ASAP. Don't ever let it get to the point where that it's out of control now, that you can't handle it. Even if you go to someone, they're going to keep on doing it.
What kept you from speaking up, though? Did you
I was scared. I was embarrassed. I was going to like being
like your folks would think, gee, you can't take care of yourself, or that it would make it worse with the kids?
Not only that, that if they came to nobody wants to bring their parents to the school. I mean, everybody's going to see your parents come into the principal's office to talk to the principals, and then they're going to pick those certain group of kids. Of course they're going to know you just told on them, so it's going to definitely make it worse for you, especially not only with the bullies, with the other kids. They're going to be calling you a snitch and stuff like that.
Right. I have to tell you, this is not something that is just prevalent in your generation. I was bullied when I was a kid. I have no idea why. I wasn't a standout at anything, or wasn't particularly special, but I got bullied particularly by one group of girls, and the last thing I ever would have done was tell my parents.
Right.
But what we're trying to say now is that telling your parents, telling the school, telling a trusted adult is the best thing that you can do. If you want to tell us what you do to handle a bullying situation, or if you're looking for advice, you can go ahead and email me right now. We're going to go to the telephone lines where we're joined by Jamie. Hi, Jamie. How are you? Oh, that would help. Hi, Jamie. How are you?
Hi, Lynn. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Now, you're a mom, right?
Yes, I am.
Have you had an experience with one of your children when it comes to bullying?
My son was bullied in elementary school emotionally, and then in middle school he was physically bullied.
What kind of toll did that take on him?
His self-esteem crashed. He started eating more. He wasn't socializing. His grades were dropping.
And how about you as a mother, or you and your husband as parents? How were you affected by it? Did you know what was going on?
Well, in elementary school, I think at the time I didn't realize it was really considered bullying, because it was just emotional. Like, it was ostracizing him from the lunch table. So it was more of a mean girl kind of thing. It was actually a girl that was bullying him.
Wow.
But in middle school, I realized it was bullying because it became physical, and I met with the guidance counselor. I even spoke to the bully directly. I called his parents, and those strategies had limited success.
Really? I am amazed, if you talk to the parents of the bully and even the bully himself, that it would not have eliminated it.
Yes. Well, the bully denied it, and the parent said he would take care of it. But the next day, the bully was yelling down the hall, saying, "My dad says you're a girl."
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what Nadin was just telling us that kids are afraid of. And actually, it's a warranted concern. Very quickly, because I have to move on here, but how did you finally deal with it? I hope it's still not going on.
No, it's resolved. 2 things, actually. One, he made the baseball team, which changed his social standing in the school. So the kids backed him and stood up to the bully for him.
Okay.
And he also took improv classes, which helped him overcome his confidence issues, so he was less affected by peer pressure.
Well, we're glad to hear that this story has a happy ending. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. I hope that it will give parents the courage to speak up against bullying.
You're welcome, Lynn.
Okay, thanks very much. If you'd like to tell us what you think, you can email me at lynn@lynndoyle.net. I've been mentioning these PSAs, these public service announcements that Albert has produced, because we really want to focus on this becoming a societal issue that all of us need to be concerned about. So let's take a look at the first of the public service announcements that he's created.
That's the whole point, is making it powerful, making it something that's in people's mindsets, something that's just not going to be something that you look at and you're just like, let me discard it, because it's an epidemic now. You know, I've gone to schools, you know, being in touch with Nadin and stuff like that, and seeing how powerful it is for these kids to have to go to school every single day now. And it's like kids are pushing the limit more and more to see what kind of reaction they could get. I'm not saying they're pushing them to death,
Right.
but it is what's happening. I mean, I think kids are really going for the jugular now, and really, like the kid from New York that killed himself, his sister goes on air and starts talking about her being at a dance, and the kid's being like, I'm glad he's dead. It's almost like there's no accountability even after someone has died because of, you know, their actions.
We've been covering bullying for as many years as I can remember on this show, and we've had the parents of kids who took their own lives, and you just can't believe it could get to that level, and yet it does, surprisingly and startling, more times than we realize. We have to do something to stop this.
We definitely do. And now there's cyberbullying, which instantaneously has such dramatic and horrible effects, because it can be so widespread, and it can damage somebody socially, emotionally, and relationship-wise in an instant.
And it's out there forever.
Right.
That's the thing that people just don't realize. They think, oh, I'll be funny about the cyberbullying or something, but once it's out there, it is just out there forever.
And it could be anyone. It could be,
Really?
I mean, there's parents that were even doing that to other kids. You know,
But we
it's-
covered that trial, absolutely. We
right.
covered that trial. That was back when MySpace was the big hot ticket, where she posed as the daughter and put things out about her daughter's rival or something. It was just a horrible situation. Well, before we take our next break and take some more calls, I do want to show one more of these very powerful public service announcements. It's sure to be an attention grabber.
Tell you I'm sorry. You don't know how lovely you are. I had to find you. Tell you I need you. Tell you I'll set you apart. Tell me.
There's not a single person here worth remembering. Those are very powerful words from kids contemplating suicide because they were bullied. I want you to think about that when we take this next break. When we come back, we'll have more suggestions for speaking up against bullying, and we'll hear from more of our viewers and the way that they're dealing with this. Please stay with us.